Mrs. Síndler, you are coordinator of NET4SOCIETY. Can you explain us what is about this network, how it helps the coordination of social and economic sciences around Europe, and what's the relationship with European programs in these areas like Horizon 2020?
Okay, well, NET4SOCIETY is the network of national contact points for social science and humanities, initially going back to FP7. We are a European network funded by the European Commission. We also put in a proposal, just like all of our researchers do, to receive funding for this network. The network is actually no longer a European network. It has advanced to being an international network of national contact points, including such countries as Argentina, Mexico, Egypt, Russia, Korea, Taiwan. So we have really taken on an international dimension, which I think is extremely important for the debate about social sciences and humanities, which is basically a global debate. As soon as we get into these different continents, we see that the discussions we are having here in Europe are not really that European when we're looking at social sciences and humanities. The idea of the network is basically to provide information, to provide training to the national contact points that have very, very different infrastructures that they deal with in their home countries. So the idea is to provide equal access to all of the relevant information and to provide the necessary training so that the national contact points can offer these services in return to their research communities. The national contact points are, in their role as national contact points, actually exclusively responsible for the EU research program. In the past FP7 and now Horizon 2020. Our network now is focusing on the sixth societal challenge, Europe in a changing world, inclusive, innovative and reflective societies on the one hand, but it also has a mandate to help the embedding process of social sciences and humanities within the overall context of Horizon 2020. So part of that responsibility is actually making the information accessible to a European audience on what opportunities are given within the context of Horizon 2020, with which issues they need to take up, the difficulties of interdisciplinarity in the context of the different pillars of Horizon 2020. So these are issues that the network wants to take up. We basically have a two-tier approach. We're looking at the national contact points themselves as an audience, and then we have the wider research audience within Europe. This conference is one of the things that we think should be beneficial to informing the social science and humanities research community in Europe, for instance.
Taking into account your experience and the global view that you have in whole Europe, how do you judge the Greek research centers and independent researchers in the area of social and economic sciences? Do they exploit these programs, these possibilities? Are they well coordinated, and this network works with him well? Or?
Well, we have Greece, of course, in our network. That is one of the reasons why we are actually having this conference in Athens. And we have been working together with our Greek colleagues from the onset of Net4SOCIETY 2008, because we're now in our third cycle. Our experiences have been excellent with our Greek colleagues. Within the context of our own work within the network and the different responsibilities we have, and our Greek colleagues have taken over a significant number of responsibilities. So in that context, I can just say that our cooperation has been excellent. We're very pleased with that. The participation of social sciences and humanities in general in FP7 has been very difficult. I'm not in the position to actually tell you how many successful Greek researchers participated in FP7. I know that the overall success rate was very low. It was below 10%, which had to do with the vast interest in these programs and the fact that the funding was in regard to the massive interest of the social science and humanities community, very marginal, basically, so that only one project per topic could be funded, which was to the detriment of the entire European social science and humanities community. So I would not say this is a Greek situation. It is a common plight of the social sciences and humanities in Europe at the moment, that at least as it pertains to FP7, there was not significant or sufficient, better to say sufficient funding available to actually draw out the potential that we actually do have in Europe.
One of the pillars of this new program is the European social model. In such a period that we are going through with all this crisis, all these problems, how can social and economic and human science help us understand, first of all, what is happening around us, and secondly, draw some policies to get out of this situation? Is it possible?
Of course, it's difficult to say whether actually research is going to make all of this happen, but I think it can provide a significant foundation to having better insights into the problems at hand. And I think if the crisis has shown us nothing else, it is the fact that all of these problems are interlinked, and then you cannot just pick one little facet and think, I will fix this one problem and I've solved the whole breadth of the crisis. It doesn't work that way. And I think that we know. I think identifying the interlinkages of these problems, I think, is something that social sciences and humanities can contribute to significantly, because looking at a holistic approach to problems is still something very new. And I think we now know that that is the only way we're going to solve the problems we have here in Europe, and most likely the problems we have globally, because they are so complex and they are interlinked not only in the context of research but in the context of regions, nations, continents. We don't have very many problems that are just very focused on a specific area with a specific locality. There are some, but the big problems we're facing definitely are not. And I think social sciences and humanities have a significant role in providing insights into approaches necessary to be taken to overcome these problems.